Hey, guys, thanks for watching Tommy Untamed. This is Tommy. We have a great show coming up with Miss Claire Lopez on Wednesday, March 5th, 2025 at 1:23 p.m. Eastern Time. So I don't really know what we're gonna jump into today. There seems to be a lot going on. I didn't even watch the speech last night. I probably should have. I do kind of have fun trying to gauge what's happening in the world by simply looking at memes on Twitter and seeing what the general reaction is to things. And that's where I get my news now. But for everybody listening, please go in the description. Please go follow Claire on Twitter. You can find the links to all of her writings. What do you want to talk about? What is most pressing in the world today on March 5th, 2025?
Well, I did watch the speech last night, President Trump in front of a joint session of Congress. He spoke for a long time, more than an hour, and I think somebody said 40 minutes or something like that. It was it was beautiful, it was inspiring, it was uplifting. And basically, what he laid out is what we can talk about today. So many different topics, beginning, of course, with foreign affairs, and then he went back home to talk about domestic affairs. And obviously, in the international arena, most of the media frenzy of the last week or so has been focused on Ukraine and Russia. And of course, the dust up meeting in the White House last Friday, and developments since then. So he touched on that. And certainly for the home front, he talked about border. I mean, this is probably the biggest issue here at home right now, is the utterly effective measures President Trump and his border czar, Tom Homan, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, have been taking that have absolutely shut down the border, and the flow of illegals across that border is down by over 90%. So one of the best lines of the speech last night was, so you see, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but so you see, we didn't need any new congressional legislation or a new bill. We just needed a new president. And that's absolutely true. So those might be the two biggest issues. The third one back overseas, though, would be developments in the Middle East, Israel, Gaza, and the various regional players. Arab League, for example, meeting yesterday, today, I guess maybe another day or two, in Cairo, what to do about Gaza, what to do about the Gazan people. But those probably top the list of the items on President Trump's speech last night. But the best parts, honestly, I mean, that all was sort of his agenda. What did I promise to accomplish during the campaign? What have we accomplished in, what is it, like 6 weeks or something? But the best part really were the guests that had been invited to the talk. And they were guests of President Trump. They were guests of Speaker of the House, um, Mike Johnson, and guests of others too. But a few just really stood out. For example, the mothers of two of the girls, Jocelyn Angara and um, Lakin,
Riley Lakin.
huh?
Riley.
Riley Lakin. Their mothers were there, and in the audience, and in the one case, their sisters. And President Trump, acknowledged them, talked about, him having, talked with them before and ever since the murder of their girls, relationship, a human relationship with the families, especially the mothers. And then there was this little boy, a young kid, I guess he's, I think they said 13 years old, suffering from childhood cancer of the brain, fighting, for years now, fighting the cancer. And the boy's number one wish was to be a law enforcement officer when he grew up. And he was dressed in a law enforcement uniform, not any particular one,
Hmm.
but like a blue law enforcement police officer uniform. And the president acknowledged him. He was there with his father, who held him up and lifted him up so the crowd could all see him. And what happened is that the new head of the Secret Service presented the boy with the credentials of an honorary Secret Service officer. And the kid was overwhelmed, and the room erupted, but not a single Democrat stood or clapped or acknowledged this in any way. They were despicable. Not only just sitting there with sour faces on, but holding up these little paddles with slogans on them. A bunch of them dressed in the color kind of fuchsia, pink fuchsia. I'm not quite sure what that was for, but it certainly wasn't for women and girls. Um, and then, of course, at the very beginning, as President Trump began to speak, Al Green made a
Who is that?
ruckus.
Who is
Huh?
that? Al Green. I've never seen him before, and that's
Yeah,
on me. But
yeah. He's a very uh, what shall I say, disruptive um, uh, senator. I forget which state, and he was interrupting and shouting and waving his cane in the air to the point that Speaker Johnson actually had to gavel the meeting or the room to order, and then eventually had Al Green escorted out of the room.
I did see that, which
Yeah.
is which is kind of crazy because Sergeant at Arms. The only reason I know that is
Uh-huh.
being in a fraternity in college in 2009. You did have which was normally just like the couple biggest, tallest, most muscular guys in case, things got heated or. But the thing is like the only time I've ever seen that used was with a bunch of 19-year-old testosterone-fueled frat boys who most of whom were probably still drunk. So
Oh dear.
that's not a good barometer that's the only time I've ever seen a sergeant at arms called in a
Well,
meeting is
he's
that
the
and
one
for him.
also, who announces the president as he walks in. He had been preceded by his wife, Melania, the first lady, and also all the members of his cabinet filed in before he came in. And then the sergeant at arms makes the announcement, the president of the United States. Quick apology, Al Green is a representative, House of Representatives from Texas.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I saw the I mean, and you're allowed to, disagree or but I get that. That's all that's a feature of America. You don't have to stand up and clap. It's not a dictatorship. You don't,
Yeah,
which is
clap or don't clap, your
all well and
choice.
good.
But
All well and good. You can
yeah,
even sit for a brain cancer survivor. Not a good look, but you are allowed to do that. And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just what was he even just yelling, just
He was
interrupting?
yelling and hollering and
That's what I mean.
interrupting the
It's like
president. And as I said, standing up, waving his cane in the air. I mean, really making a ruckus.
it's kind of
And
funny.
he had to be thrown out. But I'll mention the last. It shouldn't be the last, but one of the more standout acknowledgments by the president last night. And this was a young man um, in the audience, in the audience gallery, sitting with at least his mother I saw, but maybe other relatives too. I'm not sure, but he unbelievable record for this young man. He had a 4.4 grade point average, lettered in 6 sports
Jesus.
in college, and he had applied for acceptance at West Point, and he hadn't gotten a reply yet. And the president announces from the podium, I'm here tonight to tell you, young man, that here is your letter of acceptance. You are accepted to West Point. And the kid, just surprised and,
Oh,
hugs
that's
his
awesome.
mother. It was beautiful. And again, nobody on the Democrat side acknowledged or clapped or anything. The other side, I mean, the Republican side of the House, they had to be exhausted by the end of the night because they were popping up for a standing ovation, every few minutes. But it was great. It was a wonderful speech. It was so uplifting, so inspiring. And President Trump finished, on a real high note. talking about, the golden years of America lie ahead of us, and we are here, to make that a reality, to make America strong and proud and respected again. It was really a wonderful speech.
To to pivot entirely, just because things are moving so quickly and have been. I don't know what the one of the things that just keeps popping into my head is are you aware of or because I know I'm not any more developments or ripples of the effect of designating the cartels in Mexico as a terrorist because the last time I even vaguely looked at it I knew that we were sending in Air Force like SIGINT planes either into Mexico or off the coast. I know there was one off Baja California, but I think that was like 2 weeks ago. What are I mean, as someone with a background in the obviously in the intelligence community, what are the things that kind of go in like so right after Biden won the last election, I remember I had on the guy, and it was actually a really cool show. He was a huge Biden fan. I'm not, but just talking about the effects and security that happen once you become the president elect. And it was just a cool like no fly zones, perimeters of your neighborhood, of
Mhm.
your family. As an OCD person, it was just a cool discussion of
Yeah, yeah,
change
yeah.
in procedure. What is the change in procedure? And I imagine it's all classified, but what is the change? Does it just you're allowed to, does that clear certain levels of surveillance or certain levels of covert action or certain retaliatory doctrine? What, and I know this is a complete 180 and I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
plan
no,
on
no,
this,
it's
but
good. It's fine. It's the
yeah,
border. And no, it's not all classified at all. A lot of it is plenty open source.
yeah,
And the designation, first of all, these cartels, as well as a couple of the gangs, MS-13 and Tren de Aragua, were all together designated foreign terrorist organizations when Trump came into office. And putting them all on that list, what that does is it grants to um, the uh, the government, the United States government, the authority and tools to go after these groups with additional capabilities than only had they remained as they were transnational criminal organizations. That was their designation before, transnational criminal organizations. Absolutely, they still are. But the designation to the FTO list grants additional authority and opens up the toolbox for more tools to go after them. And yes, that does include cross border operations. We'll remember, for example, the takedown of Anwar al-Awlaki and many other Al Qaeda operatives in the wake of 9/11. And we'll remember that Anwar al-Awlaki, of course, the imam that came out of San Diego and went to the Dar al-Hijra Mosque in Falls Church, Virginia, not far from where I live, where he was imam to a real jihadi mosque and to a couple of the actual hijackers from 9/11. Well, he American citizen. Okay, this is the point here. Anwar al-Awlaki was born in Oklahoma. He's an American citizen, but after all of this, he went off to Yemen because it was Yemeni heritage background, and it was there that the United States government sent a drone um, to the car that he was riding in with his son, teenage son, and sent them both off to meet their virgins. And so it's that kind of authority, that kind of capability that is now authorized under the FTO listing. So yes, certainly additional assets surge to the border, some across the border, perhaps. We're not going to know about all of that. I did see in the news, though, reports about a striker unit that was sent to the border in Arizona. So that obviously has something to do with the Sinaloa gang, which is the
jeez,
one mostly right across that border, Mexico and Arizona. So bottom line, it's just that there's a whole set of different authorities and operational capabilities now available to go after those cartels. And I think President Trump is absolutely serious about that. They are a national security threat to the United States as long as they exist. And let's remember, too, that every one of these, be it Sinaloa, Jalisco, Nueva Generacion, Zetas, Golfo, any one of these and more, have a presence throughout the United States in every one of our major cities and lots of not major cities and towns where their narcotics distribution is in full operation. So those authorities then, will allow the government, and in particular, what this means is DHS and all of its subordinate, agencies like ICE, like CBP, certainly Tom Homan, Border Czar, working together with Kristi Noem there, and those other agencies. This will happen. This will be going on here in the United States, as well as at the border and across it too.
Striker unit, is that the vehicle? The
Yes,
striker?
that's right.
Yeah, that's kind of intense. That's yeah. In terms of so yeah, I know I think border crossings are down, I think 93% is the last
Yes,
time which is
amazing. Just an amazing number.
insane. Um I know critics of Trump have said that his deportation numbers are less than that of Biden, but I've seen counter critics say that the Biden-Harris administration was technically tabulating border turndowns as deportations, which I suppose is skewing the number.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But also in addition to that, some of these stats are counting the last weeks of the Biden administration after our November the 5th elections of last year, when it was known that President Trump, J.D. Vance, Vice President, would be taking office January the 20th. And right away, immediately, being the end of last year, 2024, those those numbers, surging to the border dropped off precipitously already. And,
really?
not really legit to be counting that as a Biden
Sure.
administration, achievement.
I thought it would have been the opposite. I thought they would have bum rushed it.
No, they knew that they would, even if they got to or even across the border, they'd be deported because Tom Homan means business.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. I love him.
Yeah,
In terms of, and again, I don't know anything about this, but in terms of, and the only reason and I bring it up is like there is an actual, aside from the fact of all the, rape, murder, and drain on the social programs are they wildly skew elections and swing states or counties where an election's decided by a couple thousand votes when you throw in
yeah.
10,000 immigrants there
Well, and
that's
don't forget the census count, which is
sure.
not for a while yet, but that too needs to be adjusted, let's say, to count only citizens.
My
Or because what that gets to then, of course, is apportionment. How many electoral
yeah.
votes for each
Well,
state?
yeah. And so
That's a part of it as well.
there is legitimate reason to remove them is because you don't want this Trump victory to just be 4 years and then over because we'll go right back to the gamed system of where you're really not getting the will of the people when you're flooding these I don't know these fulcrums of decision with immigrants to push it one way. So my point is it's not just like a in my mind it's not just a promises made promises kept thing. There's a legitimate rationale behind doing it, and it doesn't seem like they're doing it fast enough. Just mathematically, it
Well,
doesn't seem like it's. And I know I'm
I
asking a
mean,
lot.
look at the numbers, right? I mean, we've heard all kinds of numbers, and I don't know which ones are the most accurate, but anywhere from 11 to 15 million, maybe
Hmm.
more, illegals entered the United States during the Biden administration's 4 years, on top of all the illegals that had come in previously over the years. So even if you just take that number, the 11 to 15 million, it's going to take a while. Even with all the determination and the planning being carried out already by Tom Homan, ICE, and working at the border, CBP now, actually getting to do CBP stuff at the border instead of processing paperwork and handing out baby formula.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when I look at it and I go, it's going to take a while. I don't think we have a while. I don't know if the political will or I don't know brashness is there. So I look at it and I'm like, yeah, this might be a 10-year program, but we have 4 years. Actually, we have a little less than 4 years.
Well, we're hoping we have more than four
Hoping,
with
sure.
the elections of 28. I mean, we don't know
No,
yet,
no,
but
no. I'm with you. No, I'm on.
hoping.
We're on the same side. I'm not. I would rather not hope. I'd rather look at because I know Eric Prince offered to Trump that they
He
would
did.
remove 500,000 a month with a fleet of 1,000 planes and a bunch of PMCs. I really hope he does that because I this isn't just some like get
It
those
could be a
immigrants out
force
of here.
multiplier. Yeah,
Yeah, like a lot. And so like if
and a
you
good
want to
one.
have a legitimate effect on, 'cause if you don't remove them now, the same problem with swaying elections is going to happen, and we're going to continue the slide to just total totalitarianism and communism. And we got a miracle last summer, and I look at it as like we have to make the most of the blessings that we were
We
given
do.
last July. And
We
so
do.
that's why I'm like, I would love to see President Vance in 2 terms remove them all. I'm just not holding my breath for anything.
Well,
Um,
I think that the ICE teams under uh, DHS Secretary Nome, Borders are Tom Home. I think they're working as fast as they possibly can.
sure.
Remember that for now, in the beginning, they're prioritizing the removal of those who are the most violent criminals, guilty of murder and rape and assault and everything else. And those who have already had their adjudication hearings and are slated, were judged, deportable. Those are the priorities for the moment right now. So I know that they're going after them first. Obviously, the gang members, the cartel members, other criminals, and so forth. They will be at the top of the list first, and then they'll branch out to the others.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I'd love to see it. Lastly, um, what do you make of the Chinese embassy yesterday saying, if Trump wants a trade war, we'll fight that war and any other war and win. And I think they said that like on U.S. soil. It's a
Well,
little
they're already
dicey.
on U.S. soil, aren't they? I mean,
Well, yeah, I
the
mean,
influx of fentanyl and other opioids too, that comes from China, and it's coming across our southern and our northern borders. And that's why, in part at least, that President Trump imposed those 25% tariffs on both Mexico and Canada a couple days ago, yesterday, a couple days ago. And that 20% additional tariff on top of China is more specifically about the fentanyl because they are the source in China of the precursor chemicals, which are sent to both Mexico and to gangs in Canada to mix up and turn into pills, press out into pills, and it's coming across our border north and south, as well as the illegals too coming across the border north and south. So that's why, at least in part, those tariffs were imposed. But additionally, let's look at the economics of this. We, the United States, are the number one export destination for goods from Canada, from Mexico, and from China. But it doesn't work the other way around. Those three, are not our number one destination for export of US manufactured goods. And so this is a really unfair fight, one that they cannot win
mm,
in terms of tariffs. No matter the bluster, coming out of the different capitals. I think that the point of the tariffs is really not the tariffs themselves or whatever revenue might come from them, but rather to get to the objectives that Trump is really after. Again, from the North and the South, drugs and illegal immigration.
mm,
From China, the precursor chemicals to make fentanyl, the fentanyl trafficking. So what he's after is, those issues to be resolved, as well as to get to a point of reciprocity on trade. And he said over and over, and he did last night in his speech too, again, that, if Mexico, let's say, is going to impose, I don't know, 30% tariffs on goods that we export to them, then we're going to do that to their avocados or whatever.
Yeah.
And pretty soon it's going to be over. So the objective is not the tariffs, although Trump talks about increasing federal income revenue from tariffs. What he's really after, North and South, immigration, illegal aliens, and the drug flow from China, the precursors for fentanyl, and then on top of that, the reciprocity, free trade, fair trade, yeah, free trade but fair trade, such that our tariffs are pretty much equal, reciprocal. That's what he's really after, not strictly speaking just the tariffs themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it is so funny seeing like Trudeau or whoever kind of talking a big game, and it's like, yeah,
Well,
man,
he's
there
going to
is.
be out of office in a matter of weeks.
Well, not only that, regardless if he's in office for life, it's like, yeah, no, speak softly and carry a big stick, and y'all don't got a stick. Like, you're t you don't have a stick, so it doesn't matter what you say. It's
Yeah. I mean, I
it's
think we really can honestly look forward to a change in government in Ottawa this month. You
yeah,
might know that Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, prorogued, that means suspended, their parliament back in,
yeah,
I think it was January. That means suspended
yeah,
it, meaning that they in parliament could not take a vote of no confidence to boot him out
yeah.
in that period. But that not only ends this month, but might end even sooner than otherwise expected, depending on the way politics and rulings and such, court rulings up there go. Too much in the weeds. But at the first moment that the Canadian Parliament is back in session in Ottawa, they're going to take a vote of no confidence, and out he goes. And the Conservative Party, probably led by Pierre Poilievre, is standing by, waiting for that vote. And things will
What
take a different direction, I think, in Canada at that point.
a loser. That guy's just such a. I mean, I think my grandma had more testosterone than him. I look at him, I'm like, how can you even respect that? You just,
Well,
whatever.
Canadians definitely have had enough of him, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, no, he's a real loser. But I know I gotta let you go, so I'll let you run. Everybody listening, please go in the description. Please go follow Claire on Twitter. There are links to all of her writings, all the articles, all that good stuff. You can sign up for it and all that good stuff. Miss Lopez, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tommy. Good to be with you again. See you
Yes,
soon.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope everybody has a good one. Take care.